Hello fellow RimWorlders, plantoids, mechanoids and otheroids. It's PowerLogic time again. Today we will be talking about the wireless system that I like to nickname as the Wi-Fi system. Every Wi-Fi device follows the same rules. They have the same range and they have the same gizmo buttons for changing channels. You start with access to only one channel called the primary channel, but you can gain access to a secondary channel that you can unlock with further research. Wi-Fi devices will only communicate to other Wi-Fi devices that are in range and share the same channel number. When placing a Wi-Fi device, other devices in range will be highlighted green if they have the same channel, or red if no channel matches. If a device is still being configured, e.g. it still requires a flick, it will be highlighted blue. And speaking of channels, changing channels is just like flicking a switch, meaning it is not set instantly, but instead requires a pawn to physically walk up to the device and change the channel manually. The first of the Wi-Fi devices is a remote control switch. Requiring PowerLogic's remote sensor research, it is a signal receiver that turns on when it detects the signal. You can also configure it to turn on at intervals when it's receiving a signal. The next of the Wi-Fi devices is the signal transmitter. This requires PowerLogic's remote advanced logic research. But subs, you say, that mouthfully named research is tier 2 of the remote logic's devices research. For something that only transmits a signal? It sure is, and the reason being that the transmitter, by simply being able to transmit a signal when powered, makes it the most powerful Wi-Fi device in the Wi-Fi category. You say, it only does one thing. But by combining it with the normal switch, you've instantly got yourself a jack-of-all-trades device that can go from something like a light sensor to a Wi-Fi signal. In addition, you also have the same pulse settings as the remote controlled switch, but more than that, you also get a schedule. You could combine a transmitter set to pulse mode with several remote control switches set to counter mode to create a clock if you so wished. Here I've also used extra logic gates to make sure that only one wedge lights up at a time. Or rather than a clock, you could make something smaller and more useful, like a delayed switch. Same device is used, different settings. For the delayed switch, I want to turn on at around 10 seconds after my transmitter turns on, and then turn off after 60 seconds of inactivity. I'll set the transmitter to pulse mode with a frequency of 2 and a length of 1, so it will be off for 1 second, then on for the next second, and repeat. Since we're using a frequency of 2 on our transmitter, on our switch we'll want to count 5 pulses, so we get a 10-second delay. But we also want to keep it on until it times out. So we set pulses till on to 5, and pulses till off to 0, and timeout to 60. Next up is the signal repeater. The signal repeater does exactly what the name suggests. It will send a signal if it receives a signal. However, if you've unlocked multi-channel research, and if you have both the primary and secondary channels set differently, it will send out on both primary and secondary channels, even if receiving from only one of those channels. This means it will act as a bridge for the set channel numbers. Keep this in mind, even better, take advantage of this when setting up your repeaters. So what about the remote flicker? It flicks so your pawns don't have to. You can pick and choose which devices the remote flicker will monitor that are adjacent or diagonal to it from the Directions tab, and then when it receives a signal, those devices will be on, but when there's no signal, those devices will be off. This could be used to flick workstations, but you can even flick a switch if you so choose. That's it for this video. There are other Wi-Fi devices that I haven't showcased in this vid. Those will be for another time though. Thanks for watching, be sure to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell if you want to be informed of more PowerLogic videos. Goodbye!